What if I told you that the president's claim about turning Washington, D.C. into a crime-free zone might be more of a political punchline than a factual statement? Let's unpack this because it's not just about numbers. It's about how we consume information, how leaders frame reality, and why we so often fall for oversimplified narratives. Here's the thing. Donald Trump recently took to social media to declare that his administration stopped crime in Washington, even going as far as saying the city went from high crime to no crime. But here's where it gets interesting. New analysis from the Washington Post suggests that the reality is far messier, and the president's messaging might be more about optics than actual policy impact. So what's going on here? Let's dig into why this matters, what it says about our current political climate, and why we should all be skeptical of headlines that sound too good to be true. Let's start with the basics. Trump's claim is bold, right? No crime in D.C. That's a statement that would make any mayor or law enforcement official jealous. But when you look at the data, it's not that simple. The Post's analysis of thousands of arrest records shows that while there might be a slight dip in certain metrics, the overall picture is more nuanced. Crime rates can fluctuate for a million reasons: economic shifts, population changes, even weather patterns. And yet, the president's message is clear: I fixed it. What makes this really interesting is how this plays into a larger pattern we've seen in modern politics: the weaponization of selective data to craft a narrative that feels triumphant, even if the full story is more complicated. It's not just about the numbers, it's about control over the conversation. Now, here's where I think things get even more fascinating. Trump's social media post isn't just a statement, it's a calculated move. By framing the issue as a binary, high crime versus no crime, he's creating a narrative that's easy to digest, especially for people who want to believe in a quick fix to complex problems. But what this really suggests is that we're living in an era where simplicity is prioritized over nuance, and where leaders are more focused on crafting a message that resonates emotionally than one that's statistically accurate. And honestly, that's dangerous. Because when we accept simplified versions of reality, we risk ignoring the systemic issues that actually drive crime, like poverty, lack of education, or mental health crises. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about D.C. It's about how we consume information in the digital age. A detail I find fascinating is how quickly this kind of messaging spreads online, especially when it's amplified by algorithms that reward outrage and certainty over subtlety. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. This isn't just about one president's claim. It's about the erosion of trust in institutions. When leaders cherry-pick data to fit their agenda, it creates a ripple effect. People start to question everything. What's real? What's not? Who can we trust? And that's where the real danger lies. Because when trust erodes, so does the foundation of democracy. What many people don't realize is that the fight for truth isn't just about facts, it's about how we choose to interpret them. This situation raises a deeper question. How do we hold leaders accountable when their messaging is so often designed to bypass critical thinking? It's a challenge that's only going to get harder as misinformation spreads faster than ever. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, personally, I think this is a wake-up call. We need to be more discerning about the information we consume, especially when it comes from figures in power. It's not enough to just read a headline or scroll past a tweet. We have to ask ourselves, what's the full story? Who benefits from this narrative? And most importantly, what are the real solutions to the problems we are facing? Because at the end of the day, the truth isn't a partisan issue, it's a human one. And if we don't start demanding more from our leaders and our media, we'll keep falling for the same old tricks. So next time you see a bold claim like this, take a moment to dig deeper. Because the real power lies not in the message, but in the questions we choose to ask.